wish upon a star. Makes no difference who you are. Anyone you'd like to hear will come to you. Hi there! We're back many, many years ago to explain all the Sword and the Stone characters. Starting with Arthur. But everyone in the movie calls him Wart. Still, I think Arthur suits him well. Arthur is a 12-year-old orphan who dreams of becoming a knight. He was found as a baby by the brave knight Sir Ector, who took him in and raised him alongside his son Kay. And they named him Wart. Although Kay knows Arthur's true name to be, Arthur. He finds his younger brother annoying and prefers to call him by his unflattering nickname. Arthur is a little bit clumsy, but also incredibly hardworking and kind. When Arthur accidentally stumbles into Merlin's cottage, everything changes. Merlin decides to take Arthur on as a student, subjecting him to a variety of bizarre lessons and even turning him into a sparrow, a squirrel, and a fish. Arthur's life is turned upside down again when he pulls a magic sword from the stone. According to legend, whoever is able to remove the sword is the true King of England. Arthur becomes the great King Arthur, who once he gets over his fear of this huge new responsibility, will become a very famous king, at least according to Merlin.
Did you know that?
Arthur's character is based on the legendary ruler of Britain. Historians do not know whether King Arthur was a real person.
Now you know.
Here is Archimedes. Archimedes is Merlin's pet owl, who has the ability to speak like a human. He's very intelligent and highly educated. He teaches Arthur how to read and write, but also sarcastic, cynical, and grumpy. With a particular distaste for mornings, Archimedes does not mince words. He is brutally honest with Merlin and often points out the wizard's shortcomings. For all his grouchiness, Archimedes cares deeply about Merlin and Arthur. He saves their lives on multiple occasions, and even tries to help Arthur escape his fate of becoming king before Merlin helps them realize it's not such a bad thing. Here is Sir Ector. Sir Ector is a pompous, short-tempered, strict knight. He adopted the orphan Arthur and has felt responsible for his safety ever since. He doesn't really show love to Arthur, though, treating him more like a servant than a son. Although he cares enough to let Merlin tutor Arthur, he makes Merlin and Archimedes live in a crumbling tower that he refers to as the guest room. Sir Ector hates Merlin's magic. His top priority is helping his biological son, Sir Kay, win a tournament to become the King of England. Now, here is Merlin. Merlin is the world's most powerful wizard. He can travel through time and space. He can see the future, and he can turn himself and others into any creature imaginable. However, he is a little absent-minded and forgetful. Merlin values the philosophy of brain over brawn and believes that education is more important than power. This is why he decides to take on Arthur as a student. His teaching style is not traditional. For his first lesson, he turns Arthur into a fish. Merlin knows and teaches Arthur that magic can't solve all problems. This great wizard is tall and skinny with a long white beard and wears a blue robe with matching pointed shoes and hat. When Arthur becomes the king, Merlin lives in the castle and works as a royal advisor.
Did you know that?
Merlin's magic sometimes takes him too literally. When he angrily said, "Blow me to Bermuda," he accidentally ended up in 20th century Bermuda. And Merlin sometimes exclaimed, "Jehoshaphat," when he's shocked or surprised. This is the name of the fourth king of Judah.
Now you know.
Here is Madam Mim. Madam Mim hates all things wholesome, especially sunshine. She is a witch with powers that rival Merlin's, or at least she says they do. In particular, Madam Mim has a talent for transforming herself into other creatures, including a crocodile, a tiger, an elephant, and a dragon. Madam Mim is not a fan of Merlin's and finds his rule-following to be tiresome. Dishonest at her core, she prefers to break the rules. She finds delight in the gruesome and grim and refers to herself as the magnificent, marvelous Mad Madam Mim. She looks mad, too. She has a shabby mop of purple hair and huge eyes that are almost hypnotic.
Did you know that?
Madam Mim is based on a character of the same name in the book, The Sword in the Stone, by T.H. White. The author later released an expanded version of the book called The Once and Future King, in which Madam Mim does not appear. Madam Mim was animated by Milt Kahl and Frank Thomas, two of Disney's legendary 9 old men.
Now you know.
That is Sir Pellinore. Even though they're old friends, Sir Pellinore and Sir Ector are practically opposites of each other. Sir Pellinore is thin, quiet, and friendly, and doesn't think Sir Kay would make a very good king. He's also kind. He's the one who stands up for Arthur after he pulls the sword from the stone, and he suggests that the angry crowd allow him to try grabbing the sword again. Sir Pellinore wears purple and pink and is slightly balding. Though he has a generous mustache, he tends to spill things in that mustache, which sometimes leads to breathing issues. And this is Sir Kay, Sir Ector's biological son. Sir Kay is slightly dim-witted and totally selfish. He's tall and muscular, with red hair and a permanent scowl on his face. He has tormented Arthur his whole life and mistreats him even more when Kay becomes a knight. After Arthur pulls the sword from the stone, however, he shows some respect for his adopted brother and remorse for the way he treated him. And those are all the Sword in the Stone characters. Join me next time and we'll go over the characters from Rapunzel. Well, actually, in Disney Animation Studios' sake, they call it Tangled.